All right, there we go. So we are live. Hi, I'm Katie Harris. I'm owner and CEO of NursePreneurs, and I'm here with Holly O'Quinn. Holly, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, absolutely. So Holly has been working on a med spa and IV hydration and concierge nursing, kind of like all of it. So Holly, what kind of motivated you to get into putting these businesses together?
Well, I was an ER nurse for many years and took care of people on the back end of, tragedy and things that they were going through that were very emotional. And after doing that for so long, I felt like I wanted to help people in another way and treat them emotionally and physically on the opposite side and bring just a happiness towards things. So, also having I'm doing some concierge medicine with hormone therapy and having some personal struggles. I felt that I wasn't being listened to or didn't felt that people understood what I was going through, and taking my own personal journey and learning and educating myself through this gave me the ability to open this spa and be able to incorporate all these different aspects of nursing.
Yeah, and I feel like that's something that's really powerful that's driving nurses into entrepreneurship and something maybe we haven't seen,
Correct.
20 years ago. This wouldn't have been like completely foreign to me. But nowadays, I think nurses especially are looking for some sort of happiness and impact and legacy.
Yeah, and I think they're looking for to be able to help people. We realized during COVID that our health was very important and that we had to do things that were going to keep us healthy. And we turned to different venues and realized that being sick was in the hospitals wasn't where we wanted to be. We wanted to be healthy and take care of our families, and being able to have that knowledge of being in the hospital and taking care of people when they were sick, and now using this on the opposite end, we realized that health is very important, and doing some of the natural things that I'll be doing here with peptide therapy and IV therapy, and then enhancing their well-being with some of the beauty aesthetics that we do. I think it's overall wellness that we're missing, and I think COVID brought that to light.
Yep. So now, are you a nurse practitioner?
I am a nurse practitioner
Okay, and you're based out of New Orleans.
based out of New Orleans, correct?
Okay. So give us a little background because you do have an interesting background. It's unusual from, other nurses or anybody for that matter. So,
So my personal background is being a nurse for, like I said, 27 years. I worked in ER, ICU, adult and pediatric throughout my career. I've also worked in the film industry, which has given me the ability to not have nursing burnout. So that's kind of been fun. And then I've seen how, like I said, taking care of people and throughout my whole entire adventure was what we really needed. On top of that, having some personal hormone journey, I had some problems with not being treated, I guess, through lab work and through symptoms. It caused me to have some major problems with hormone therapy, and I had lost the ability to get in touch with the doctors and say, "Look, I really need some help." And being a nurse, we had some journey of them saying, "Oh, you know too much," or they didn't want to get involved. So, the biggest thing that I met was, hey, I need you to run some lab work. Hey, I need you to find a way to make me feel better or feel healthy. And it was either here, take a pill, or here, do something different. Or, we're not opening that Pandora's box, as they called it. So I took all of those things that I did together, and using nursing, using the film industry, using my own personal experiences, and said, this is where I need to be, and I need to bring this to somebody so that they know that I.
yeah, and it's somewhat condescending to say you know too much and we're not going to open Pandora's box. I mean, that's kind of like that's why you go to the why you go to the medical system in the first place is to open the box.
I just think it's a lack I mean, we get stuck in a rut, and I can tell you from personal experience of being in the ER, you get stuck in a rut. People come in, you do your thing, you move out. And like I said, through COVID, I realized that these people were coming in and they were asking, how do I get better? Is there something that I can do to myself personally? Is there some kind of IV hydration I can do to make myself feel better? What are the vitamin therapies that I do? We went from doing oral hormones to now doing bioidentical because they wanted to be more natural into themselves. And of course, do all these things. I mean, we're aging and we're not ready to get older or look older, and we were looking to feel better about ourselves. And so helping people emotionally through this is a big journey.
Yeah. And I'll say, the thing that COVID did was the stupid Zoom calls. Like I ended up at the medical spa multiple times. And I know you've taken Chrissy. So Chrissy Scava runs our med spa course. And I know you took that course and you went up to work with her one-on-one as well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I have taken the course through NursePreneurs and went through Christy's course for the Botox and the fillers, and felt like I got the technique down, I got the information down, but I didn't have the hands-on experience. And so I wasn't ready to really go out and start practicing on my friends as much as I was like knowing that I had the knowledge and knowing that I had enough of a nursing technique to be able to understand her education. All of her diagrams were absolutely amazing. It was much different when you went there. She was able to instruct you hands-on, and you were able to see how it reacted with patients. It was very in tune, in depth, and very tailored to what I wanted out of a course.
Yeah, and Chrissy's amazing. I told you before this, like I go up and get my Botox done with Chrissy because she's so good. Like I've had it where they've done like the crow's feet, and then I have these dark circles under my eyes. And whenever Chrissy does it, it like the Botox is beautiful. Nobody can tell. I don't have the lines. Like it's wonderful. And she's like 3 hours away from me, so it's like it's not easy to get to her.
Love her, and it was nice to see because I had seen and injected with other people, but I still just wanted to kind of solidify some of the things that I had learned. And then through her, watching her through her videos and through her live podcast and things, there were different techniques that I wanted to explore. So by going to her, I was able to get that hands-on and that unique experience of her telling me the ways and the whys of why we were doing things a certain way. And I got to see it on some of the patients that we were correcting too.
Yeah, and I would say that you're probably quite lucky because she only takes like one student a month, and she's one-on-one. I thought she was doing like group classes and stuff, and she's like, "Oh no." So was it just you that went up?
It was just me, and she asked me to bring a model, so I brought my mother, which was a very interesting way to handle that because my mom was never had she's 75 years old, has never had Botox, never had fillers, never was a big advocate, always kept saying don't do that to your face, don't do all these things. So I brought her up there and said, I want you to understand what I do. And now she is like, I need to be your billboard. She has all of her friends are now in tune to it. She became a bigger supporter of the reasons why. Not that she wasn't before, because she always was my biggest cheerleader, but she understands like changing something so small as a crow's feet, or maybe doing someone's lips at some point made them and gave them such a confidence, and changing their appearance made them feel better about themselves. And I told her, this is the emotional part of this. This is why we do what we do. We're not just getting here trying to look like Barbie. We're actually changing how they feel about themselves and giving them a bit of self-confidence. And now she is my biggest cheerleader, my biggest billboard. She wants to tell everybody in the whole world that she sees.
I love that.
It was a great experience because she got that one-on-one care too. So it was really fun. And I'm glad from my perspective,
Yeah, that's awesome. I really didn't appreciate med spa, honestly, until, I started going after COVID hit, after, too many Zoom calls, and, realized that it's not just Botox and fillers. Like there's so many other things that they can do, and it's amazing. And every time I go, the girl that's there, she's like, "Oh, we should try that." I'm like, "Yep, let's do it. Let's try it." So.
And it's funny because she now is like, "What else do we have? What else do we?" Looking even didn't understand.
Your audio keeps going in and out.
Oh.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. She didn't even understand what med spa meant as much as even incorporating the IV nutrition. I kept saying, but this is the total health. This is our total health within, and that we have to realize that we're treating outside and inside, and that we're doing it naturally.
But you know what I also think? I think, with the med spa making you like physically like feel good about yourself, the IV hydration, gives you the vitamins and minerals, and it kind of lends itself to you just want to have a healthier lifestyle as well. So that kind of lends you to eating better and working out. And it's kind of like a stepwise process. But it all comes together. Like you don't want to just do med spa and then, you know, like you're unhappy about other things. It just makes you want to keep going down that path.
Right, and the with the hormones, them being also bioidentical, they also have a nutraceutical line. So even after they get the IV therapy, they want to learn how to continue that healthy nutrition after. And they want to talk, and you know, I talk to them about nutrition, I talk to them about health and maintenance and all the things that we need to do. And it starts from doing simple things, and then we work our way up to where we need these changes, and we feel the immediate results of the IVs, and then we want to continue that path of health.
Yeah, it's funny that I feel like all throughout nursing school and through every lecture that I've ever been through, it's like the main focus was on the pathophysiology, then like 50% of it was pharmacology, and then the last slide of every presentation was, you know, eat right, exercise, and you know, health, intensive lifestyle changes.
Right.
And it wasn't until I kind of really got into this business that I'm like, you know what, like 90% of that presentation should have been about lifestyle changes, because that's the only thing that works.
Absolutely. And we forgot. And like I said, I still go back to COVID and say, in COVID, we realized that health was, or being healthy or staying healthy, as we all went into our little cocoons, and we didn't mingle so much, that was part of what was keeping us at the hospital, was maintaining that health and maintaining those nutritional goals. And also we realized that, you know, the things that we wanted to do and get out and exercise made us more ambitious to do those things, because we were all inside, kind of pinned indoors, is the way I looked at it. So we found new nutritional goals and health journeys to keep us healthy, as they kept saying that your health is a major important. That's going to keep you out of the hospital.
Yep. So tell me a little bit more about the bioidenticals. What are they? Like, how are they given? What type of people take bioidenticals?
Bioidentical hormones are hormones that are made for your identity, basically. So we draw lab work. We get that lab work. It's specific to you. And then we send all of our information to a company called Avexipel, and they make our hormone pellets that are inserted in a female in the top buttock area, or a male into like the love handle area. And they, over a 4-month time, emit or kind of break down and give you constant hormone levels. We find out that hormone levels affect our mood, our appetites, our sex drive, our depression. And through these things, we're getting some oral therapies that you could try. And people were getting peaks and valleys. When they were getting the peaks and valleys of these supplements that they were taking, or oral medications that they were taking, or even injectables, they weren't maintaining that constant stream of hormone therapy. And without estrogen and testosterone, both men and women both need those things in order to keep our hair, our skin, our bones, our teeth, all these healthy aspects that we thought for so long that after you hit menopause you didn't need. And what we're finding out is that from a young age, even young girls in their 20-year-old, 25 and 35 still need hormones, or have hormone insufficiencies, such as like PCOS, or younger generations having breast cancer. And we're realizing that some of these things we weren't given hormone support. And now we're able to do that because they're identical to you. And they're made specifically in accordance to how your lab work looks and symptomology, so that we can treat people to feeling better and maintaining those things. We're treating osteoporosis, we're treating hair loss, we're treating, you know, the wrinkles in the skin and all the things that we need to do internally for our organs. And so it's keeping that constant hormone therapy going. And people who have been getting this thing are saying that it's life-changing. And I have personally done it, and it is absolutely life-changing to me.
Is it something you stay on like a lifetime, or is it?
It is something you start and you stay on a lifetime. You can do it. They do. So most people last between 4 and 6 months. So they come into the office, they get a consultation on some of their symptoms that they're doing. We do some assessments. We do a physical on them. They get lab work at that time. They come back a week later, and we get their identical hormone. We insert it with a trocar into their top buttock area, for, like I said, for a female or the male. We do it in the love handle. And then that have like a date down period, and then it lasts for 4 months. They come back, we check lab works again, the lab work again. And if it's when they need boosts or they need to have different therapies, we can tailor that within their regimen.
Okay. Now, I mean, I would say that hormones have gotten a bad rap over the years. And whenever I think of hormones, I think of like breast cancer. Like that's the first thing that comes to mind. So like, how do you educate people about that?
So I attended a conference just last week over in Dallas, and we had many questions about the same thing because hormones have gotten a bad rap, and saying that as we age, we don't need them. And as we have discovered that there's been more cancer in females and males, that with breast cancer, they started to look at and see why we were having such things change and why we were not giving people hormones for the lifetime of their existence. And what we went and did was they had all these studies and all these doctors from all over that had found and done enough research that says, you know, we were born with these things. We were born with estrogen. We were born with testosterone. We weren't born with the cancers. But when we stopped doing the therapies, we became more susceptible to some of the things that we're changing and doing in our body to give them more reasons to have things invade. So by maintaining this constant therapy, they were finding that it wasn't and they did many research that it wasn't causing breast cancer, that breast cancer had been there for 4 to 6 years and then, stopping therapies and starting therapies or changing, and the natural changes in our body were causing different reactions.
Oh, wow. Okay. And then in terms of like, what I wanted to ask you something, in terms of like IV hydration therapy as well, does that go along with it? Did you find like some sort of drip that could help them as well?
So what I did is I incorporate my main focus being that they come in here and they do their consultation. And I say during this journey, you might have a week or 2 weeks where you're not feeling that this is 100, because it's not an instant thing. It's something that you go, and then like 1 or 2 or 3 weeks later, then you start to hit where your pellets begin to break down, in a time release fashion, and you start to feel better. You start to have the hormones that your body needs. And so during those times, I've incorporated IV hydration and the vitamins, doing like a beauty drip or doing a Myers drip or any of the, immune drips that kind of got them through that time to give them a little boost of energy so that they felt the results or things happening. Because when people are coming in to do something, they want immediate results. They want to feel better instantly. And that was the way to do it. And as they were getting better with the hormones and as they're getting better with the IV nutrition, they're getting healthier, and then they're realizing, like you said, we're doing Zoom calls where we're all trying to figure out how to hold our neck back or how to sit there and hold our crow's feet. So that this was all kind of incorporating where now the Botox and the fillers were the part that I could do to enhance or reduce some of the symptoms that they were feeling.
So you're kind of like a one-stop shop.
Yes, I'm very passionate about what I'm doing.
And the hormones came first, right? That's what you wanted to do first, and then
hormones came first, and the IV nutrition and the Botox were lagniappe that I knew that like I said, personally through my journey, I realized, my hormones weren't there. They weren't giving me hormones, and that's when I noticed that my hair was thinning. My bones I was getting diagnosed with osteopenia or osteoporosis on bone density courses. And then it was like the next thing I know, then they were talking about your teeth and they're talking about your skin. And I'm thinking my skin is dry and I'm getting these wrinkles, and where is this all coming from? And the minute I started supporting the natural things like hormones, I started to notice the changes in my hair, the changes in my skin. But some of the things were already there, and the natural aging processes had already happened. But this way I enhanced some of the things that made me feel better internally.
Okay. And is this something you feel like everybody needs, or the majority of people, or is it just really, patient specific?
So I was not a big believer of having everyone do this therapy. And then when I said I went to this conference, I came out of that conference having spoken to over 150 different physicians who all had the same kind of mentality. When we all went in there, we were thinking this was just very specific to a certain age population. What we did learn through that 4-day, grueling 15-hour-day conferences of education, they provided us with so much research and so much education and so much knowledge that GYNs from across the whole entire nation were all involved in saying we need to have this in our clinics. They had also stated that, this is not just for our menopause people. This is for our premenopause. This is for our postmenopause. This is for our men. Our men are also feeling this. So we think that hormones are women, but men too are needing the testosterone to keep their bone density, to keep their muscle strength, to keep their vitality. And as we have gotten older and as we've gotten to the point where 50 is the new 21 to a lot of us, men are wanting to keep their vitality, and so are women. And so this hormone support is allowing that generation of us to also be supportive in our hormone therapy. In tune to that, we also got our younger generation that we can get with the PCOS that we can kind of take care of and figure out. And we have our older generation who are now looking at that 50 generation saying, we're not ready to be old. So the therapy can go from 18 on up. And, most of your generation will be between 35 and 65, but we are treating people of all ages on this therapy path.
I'm like really interested. So I'm one of those people, I'm like about to be 50, like in a couple of years, and I still feel like I'm 20 something.
And I think that's our generation that, we're not ready to be old, and we know that we're not young. So what can we do to maintain this? And you look around the gyms and you look around different areas, and it's our age group between 35 and 65 that are in the gym every day, wanting to find that health, wanting to find the reasons to be better, wanting to find that strength. We're noticing that our skin was different. We're noticing our hair. We're looking and holding on, trying to say, what can we do? And I think we found, to me, pellets are like the fountain of youth. So that they came in, they gave us information, they gave us things that are specific, and they said, this might be our bell curve of where we want to be on our levels, but why do I want to be a C student? I want to be an A student. So let's get us to the other side of that bell curve and treat our symptoms and treat how we're going instead of treating numbers. And that's been a big difference and change in the hormone therapy world, that we're not just treating that your testosterone is low, or not thinking that women need testosterone too, and not thinking that men don't need estrogen, and men do need estrogen. So it's a natural balance, and trying to find that niche and trying to find that balance is about educating your patients and educating them to feel and to talk about dysfunctions that they're having, or talk about things that they're feeling, and realizing that depression is part of the things that are happening, or sexual health is about what's happening, because we're not all ready to give that up.
Right. Are there a lot of hormone specialists that are out there, or is it growing?
So in my area, I'm the only one that does this particular company. They do have several other companies that are out there, but the construction of their pellets, I can't speak of because I've never done theirs, but I've not heard good results. Or some people like them, but they're not as, they're very generic in dosing. So you might get, everyone gets a certain dose, where this company is very specific in their dosing.
Okay, it probably costs more to be customized the dose.
It does not. It actually costs less.
You're kidding.
I'm not.
That's a first.
So on the other program, and I don't want to, bash any other program, but on the other program, they're in tune of range about 600 a session. And this company, they are in tune between 300 to 600. So it just depends on what therapy you're getting. And they have, like I said, their own nutraceutical line. So that's also supportive of the different things we need, because we all need iodine, we all need copper, we all need the A, D, and K vitamins. And all of that supports our skin, our hair, our bones, everything.
Right. Holly Jenkins on. She says, "Where are you located?"
I'm in New Orleans, in a city called Harahan.
Holly, we need to go visit Holly O'Quinn. Holly Jenkins in Victoria, Texas. She's in South Texas, so it's not too far.
No, not at all. It's great. The company's amazing, and they always have medical staff. They always have people online. I feel like just like you have provided a service for me to get involved in this, and I could call, and you have the support. And I've never felt, since joining your company, that I've never had someone I could reach out to and help, or ask the questions to, or find out, like, why are we doing this a certain way? And because of, I guess, you setting the bar, when I was looking for my hormone support therapy, and the companies that I was looking for, I wanted to also make sure that I had that kind of support, because we're all learning and we all have things that pop up. And if we're able to communicate, we're all able to help each other.
Yes, I absolutely agree. So have you launched your business, and how's it going?
So we are open up this week. We just started this week.
Oh, wow.
Been great. It's been a journey. I initially was going to open months ago, but I had a little building that had about 2 or 3 rooms and decided that it was a little too small for what I wanted to continue to grow into. And so I bought my grandmother's home and we commercialized it, and here we are. So we're
Oh,
now,
you're kidding. Wow.
now kept it family, and it's on a highway, main highway. It's on a major corner. It's all the things that I needed to do. It's got great public entrance. It's fantastic, and it's it went from a 1,200 square foot space to a 3,500 square foot space.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I'm able to have all kinds of things here and have the ability to grow, and it's just amazing the support that I've gotten between the community and my family and my friends. I opened this week and I have 28 appointments already.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So it's fantastic, and I couldn't be more thrilled.
So let me ask you this. Could you have imagined this like a year or even 2 years ago? Or is this something that, this is just the realization of what you've been dreaming of?
So in April, I spoke with Audrey, and Audrey and I had long conversations, many conversations, and she heard how passionate I was about it. And for years, I always stated that this was what I was going to do. I was going to find someone who would listen to me, who would answer my questions, who would be able to understand health journeys and the ways that. You there?
Yep.
So for my health journeys, I kept saying that I wanted to find this niche. I wanted to find someone who would help me along this to find it. And that's when I found you and said, this is possible, because before meeting you or meeting your team, I just felt like this was something that nurses just kind of incorporated somewhere, or it happened. And there were a couple venues around here that had 1 or 2 IV chairs, and I really didn't understand their concept. And then since meeting Audrey and since meeting your team, I just feel that they have been able to support. They've given me answers. They've given me the knowledge. They've given me the know-how. And being a part of that team gave me that vision to say that I really could bring this into where I needed it to be. And that I wanted it to be all of the things incorporated. And I was able to do that because of your team. So this is all that I wanted plus more.
Awesome. Well, that makes me so happy.
Yeah.
So Beatrice, Holly has gone through our IV hydration and med spa. We have courses, and we also help set businesses up with a done for you program. So let me, I do want to come down to New Orleans, where you are, and do a meetup. So I'm hoping people in the group are interested. So I'd like to meet up at your clinic, reserve a day, get the, get the menu of services out, and
Absolutely.
yeah, we'll treat everybody at your clinic. So that would be awesome.
Yes, I absolutely love that. And like I said, I've had such a huge family support. And knowing, sitting here saying, this is what I want. And they could see my vision, and they could see that I had done this before, I had done some of the homework and said, I really want this. And then finding you and finding the support teams that you have. I mean, I've talked to Piper, I've talked to Cassandra, all these people. And no matter what I've said or what questions I've asked, they've always found the answer. And so it made this vision come true. It made this all come together so that I wasn't missing any steps. I wasn't going back and starting things kind of half pumped and saying, oh yeah, I'm going out there to do this. It came with everything that I needed and more. And then still a support team to say, look, I'm having, a question, or I need a question, or do you think this looks a certain way? And having some of those expertise kind of reword things and do things makes me look like a movie star. So I love it.
Awesome, Holly. Well, thank you so much for sharing this with us today. Your journey has been amazing. I'm so excited for you, and I'm excited to come down to New Orleans.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to see you. It'd be great to have you here. And like I said, and I'm not just saying this just because we're on this call. I really, truly have not had a better support team through this all, because even when I had the craziest ideas, it seemed like even starting Audrey and having our conversation, she called you and we were able to speak with you and come up with some kind of plan to make this thing full circle. And so without having that support, or without having the things that we need, sometimes we come in and miss a lot of the important things that are legal, or, the things that we forget about. And so being able to have that checklist and being able to have that support team has really made the journey so much easier.
Great. Thanks, Holly.
Absolutely.